Our next presentation, Mr. Herb Wesson, CD 10. And we are joined by a distinguished member of the Board of Supervisors of Los Angeles County.
How's everybody? Good to see you. Thank you, Mr. President and members. Today, we recognize the tremendous value that mediation can create. Back in 2005, our former colleague, who is now the City Controller, Wendy Gruhl, established Mediation Day. So it's been going on for approximately 7 years. The Department of Mediation was established to ensure that there was dialogues going on between parties that shared different perspectives. These people recognize that as long as discussions are taking place, that anything is possible. Because of their good work, we have been able to bring sides that were so far apart together. They've been able to eliminate a lot of time spent in court and also, most importantly, save much needed dough. So that, I think, is very important in itself. This is a movement, I think, that started in the late 80s, and I imagine that it's happening throughout the country. But I can't think of anywhere where it works better than in the greatest city on the planet, Los Angeles. With me today is Daniel Binsby, former trial lawyer and now active mediator with ADR Services, and has been the chairman of Mediation Day for the last 7 years. Also, we have Lisa Mackay, who's the Vice President of the Consumer Attorneys Association of Los Angeles and the Association of Plaintiffs' Trial Lawyers, and a principal in a law firm that happens to be named after herself. Also, we have with us today Robert Olson, who is the Association of Southern California Defense Counsel, the Association of Defense Lawyers, and a partner in Granis, Martin, Stein, and Richland. We also have Kendall C. Reed, President of the Southern California Mediation Association. At this time, members, I'd like for you to give a round of applause as I ask a few people to come up and say just a few words. So it's Mediation Day. Let's kick it off right. These guys rock. So I first would like to ask Daniel Binsby to come and say a few words.
Thank you very much, Councilman Wesson. Thank you to all the council, the City Council, and Controller Wendy Gruhl for this 7th annual Mediation Day. Mediation saves the city an enormous expense that would otherwise have to be spent on not just a lot more judges, but more courthouses. And mediation promotes a more productive and civil society. One example, 2 young entrepreneurs started a food business together. It grew to over 100 employees, a multi-million-dollar success. That is, until the partners ended up in a bitter fight with lawyers and lawsuits, causing the business to suffer. Right before a planned 1-month trial, the partners came to me for mediation. I guided the process, meeting separately and in joint session, and at the end of 1 day, they settled their entire dispute. They, their employees, and the food business are now thriving. That's just one of the thousands of mediation success stories here in Los Angeles. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And now if we could have Lisa Mackay please come forward.
Good morning. Thank you very much. My name is Lisa Mackey, and I'm here on behalf of the Consumer Attorneys of Los Angeles. If you don't know what our group is, basically, we are protecting each and every one of your civil rights every day, making the world a safer place. And we are generally opposed to mandatory arbitration. Mediation is a good thing. We don't believe that arbitration is, because a lot of times people are signing away their constitutional right to a jury trial. Mediation saves the parties a lot of money. I think in a civilized society, everybody should be encouraged to sit down and try to work out their disputes, and many of our members do just that. So we really appreciate your taking the time to listen to us today. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Lisa. Now, if we could have Robert Olson please come forward.
Good morning. I'm an officer with the Association of Southern California Defense Counsel. We are the lawyers who defend individuals, small businesses, cities, and other entities when they get sued. But we're ultimately in the dispute resolution business, and that means we strongly support mediation, whether it's before a suit or during the course of a lawsuit. Our members spend hundreds of hours volunteering with the Superior Court to act as volunteer mediators along with our friends from the plaintiffs' bar, and we are strongly behind that effort, and we recognize that it not only benefits the parties to the individual dispute, but also to the system as a whole by clearing dockets of disputes that can be resolved and resolved quickly. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. Kendall Reed.
Thank you. Ken Reed, President of the Southern California Mediation Association. We believe that disputes and competition among ideas are very important to a vibrant society such as our great city. We are very proud to be involved on a day-to-day basis with helping resolve disputes and conflicts peacefully, inclusively, and collaboratively. And we believe that the process ought to be used far more and in almost all circumstances where there is a dispute. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much. And at this time, I want to present you with a proclamation from the greatest city on the planet. It's signed by everybody. Why don't you come up here? We'll take a group shot, and I don't want you to leave because we have a special treat coming up next. Come on, I don't bite. Oh, no, I do sometime. Wait a minute, you guys should be holding this. Yes. That's the picture. Thank you. If you guys could stay here. Now, today is a special day because I have an opportunity to, in my view, honor the person who has been the glue for the city of Los Angeles where it relates to mediation. And I just want to give you a few facts about this individual before I ask her and her family to come up here and join us. She graduated cum laude from Pomona College. I won't tell you the date, but trust me, it did happen. We have proof. She then went on to get her graduate degree from the University of University of California at Santa Barbara. The Association of Black City Attorneys recently presented her with an award, the Unsung Hero Award, to honor her this past Black History Month. She also received the Rosa Parks Award from the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, the Phenomenal Woman Award from the Women's Studies Program, California State University at Northridge, was selected a Black Woman of Achievement and received that from the NAACP Legal Defense and Education Fund. She was honored by the Los Angeles County Board of Supervisors, and her husband received the Angel of Peace Award from the Violence Prevention Coalition of Greater Los Angeles. They also, as a team, as a power couple, received the Silver Rose Award. And there have been many, many other great accomplishments that she's done over the years. But I remember back in late 1988, I was chief of staff to a colleague that many of you worked with. And I hadn't even been here a year, maybe a little bit over a year. And I've got meetings, requests, and I mean, it was overwhelming. And I got a phone call from this woman 3 or 4 times urging me to meet with her. I didn't know who she was. What she wanted at that point in time didn't seem important to me. But she had such a cool name that eventually my secretary just set the meeting, and I didn't even know about it. She comes into my office, and she was brilliant, and she was professional, and she began to tell me about this program. Again, I'm new at City Hall. I'm overwhelmed. I'm listening. It's going in one ear and out the other. Mediation. Why would I need that? I can do that myself. I've been doing it my entire life. So I was polite, and she left. And all of a sudden, we want to build a brand new library in our district. Close an old, inadequate library with a brand new state-of-the-art library. I found out that there were a few people who didn't want us to do that. They wanted to preserve this library. So I had a meeting, a mediation session. At that meeting, I was called everything you could imagine. None of it was good. I made no progress whatsoever. I was then forced to call this brilliant lady and beg for assistance. Her people came in, and I sat in on some of the meetings, and I truly realized how much I did not know about mediation. She is a wife. She is a mother of twins that have, again, coolest names you want to hear, Sebastian and Sinclair. I mean, imagine when you guys go out and my name's Sebastian. My name's Sinclair. When I go out, hi, I'm Herb. It just doesn't have that same ring. She's married to a friend of mine. In fact, I met her before I met her husband. I'm proud to have him as a friend. We're lucky to have him as a supervisor. I'd like to ask Avis Ridley-Thomas's family to please come up here, and let's give her a round of applause and bring up the whole family. A phenomenal public servant who is smart enough to recognize that maybe retirement to a certain degree might have some advantage. So she will be leaving us. She's you're the first and only program director. From the very beginning of this program, when it started out, she had 4 people. I think they have 1,600 or 1,200 or something now. So she has been the creator and has been instrumental in making not only Mediation Day an important day, but also making the city's mediation department the best in the nation. And she also, again, happens to be married to a little-known person by the name of Supervisor Mark Ridley-Thomas. Maybe some of you have heard with him. Maybe some have heard about him. Some of you may have served with him. So it was a great honor that I'd like to present you with, where'd it go? A resolution signed by the entire City Council and the Mayor for all of the phenomenal services that you have provided this city and this county. But as a special treat, see, I've been married 30 years. My wife taught me how to treat a lady, okay? Here. Ladies and gentlemen, Avis Ridley-Thomas.
Thank you so much, members of the council. I'd like to introduce you to some of the mediators here represented today and the staff of the Dispute Resolution Program who are here. Would you all just stand a moment, please? These are the people who actually do the work. If we can give them yes. We have now trained over 2,000 community mediators in the dispute resolution program. That work will continue. I am the only person retiring from the city at this time. I will be working in dispute resolution. It has been so rewarding to be a member of the staff of the City of Los Angeles. I cannot tell you, these 30 years, I have been so proud to be a city employee, and I appreciate what you do as the council to reinforce what it means to be a city employee, that we provide these services that are so important for our community. I am very proud of this association. I appreciate having this opportunity to serve, and I'm going to miss these beautiful halls that I walk through every day. So thank you very much. I appreciate this, Herb. Thanks so much.
We have some colleagues, Mr. Wesson, that wish to acknowledge.
Well, if I might have a point of personal privilege, I think that once a council member, always a council member, so I'd like to defer to one of the old grizzled veterans from the council and ask, I'm not going to do what you think I'm going to do, and ask Supervisor Ridley-Thomas to come up and say a few words. You know I was going to call you Dr. King.
Welcome back, Supervisor.
Thank you very much, Mr. President and Councilman Wesson. Colleagues of the City Council, I simply want to say to you thank you very much for the opportunity to be here and to extend, on behalf of my entire family, a gracious thank you for honoring Avis Ridley-Thomas. It is without question that much of the best in which we've engaged in the effort to bring a higher level of civility to Los Angeles with the days of dialogue in which many of you have participated over the years and a range of activities. They have been possible largely through the leadership, the innovation of Avis. And so we are immensely appreciative for the contribution that she has made over now 30 years in a number of venues, and it is with a high degree of appreciation on behalf of Sebastian Sinclair and our entire family that we say thank you as we salute her on her retirement.
All right, now we have Mr. LaBonge. Well,
I think it's me, Mr. LaBonge's seat.
All right.
Yeah, you know, I've been working out, you know, hit Jenny Craig. Avis, it's not just these beautiful halls that will miss you, but we will miss the beautiful woman in these halls. And you have done a tremendous, tremendous job. You have been the embodiment of grace, of intelligence, of impact. You and the mediators that you have been a part of have not only transformed lives, I dare say you have saved lives. You have taken conflicts when, if they do escalate, can turn into dangerous situations. They can be negative for our economy. They can rip families apart. They can pit neighbors against one another. And I remember when Mark once, I think, accepted an award from the Los Angeles Commission on Assaults Against Women. He stood up and he said, thank you for all this, but what my wife and I are really trying to do is just raise two gentlemen, two good individuals in this world. And the reflection of who this family is, and not just the work that you do, both as individuals but collectively, it's a reflection on you too, these two fine gentlemen who we've seen grown up. We've seen grow up, we've seen them become members of this society, contributing members of the society, but also to have the same grace and wit and intelligence that defines who all four of you are. So congratulations. It has been, you predated me here, and now I guess I've outlasted you for a moment. I'm both still the youngest guy around here, but the longest serving in this horseshoe, so I'm both a rookie and a veteran. By, yeah, 2 weeks, but, you know, but I learned so much in those 2 weeks because I served with Mike Fuhr and Mike Hernandez. Anyway, but I just want to say that this does not feel like it will be City Hall without you here, and we hope that you will continue to teach us, because you have been a great teacher to us through those budget battles, through the resource that you provided to all of our community members. There is not one of the 15 districts that doesn't have people today that should be grateful because of the work that you have done. Congratulations on your retirement.
Ms. Perry, Ms. Jan Perry.
Avis, I'm sure you don't remember, but I actually am a graduate of the program for the mediation training, and it's your greatest legacy that you enable us to continue to grow and to develop a skill set that is a lost art in our society today, the ability to hear each other and to build relationships that can lead to positive and tangible results. If it's something as simple as a tree growing over somebody's property line, or a barking dog, or people parking their cars in front of each other's houses and not liking it, I can testify firsthand that the training that I received through the program that you started gave me a skill set that I think has enabled me to continue to go forward in my profession and to be a better person for it. So I attribute that directly to you and who you are as a person, and I hope that you find great joy and great peace in your retirement. And I would suggest that at least for 2 months you should not answer the phone. So people call to ask you where things are. You just go on out and take a nice long walk. But congratulations to you. You deserve it.
Mr. Cardenas.
I just want to personally thank you, Avis, for the service that you've rendered to this city and your team. It is priceless. And when I mean priceless, what too many of us don't take into account is the damage that did not take place. Unfortunately, on the 6 o'clock news and the 11 o'clock news, we hear about aggression and anger manifesting itself in some cases as far as taking a life. And unfortunately, we don't hear on the news the thousands of countless of actions of anger and aggression that actually cause damage to people that love each other, people who work with each other, people who otherwise should be serving each other and figuring out how to bring the best out in them, yet that damage displays itself time and time again, thousands of times, unfortunately millions of times on any given day amongst all of us. But I just wanted to thank you for making sure that the City of Los Angeles had that in our repertoire of trying to make sure that we have a much more sensible place, a much more sensible place in the workplace, a much more sensible place of being with us as individuals. And I want to thank you because as soon as I got elected to the City Council, you made the time to make sure that you explained to me what you do, and I do agree with you that it is very, very important. And I just wanted to thank you for so much contribution, and I hope and pray that we continue as a city to make sure that we continue to have that kind of energy and that kind of effort that we otherwise wouldn't have unless we have leaders like you. So it's going to fall on the shoulders of many others that are literally standing behind you to make sure that we don't abandon this very important, sometimes very hard to measure effort that is critical to making sure that we have a safer, a much kinder, much more appropriate human environment. So I want to thank you so much for your leadership.
Mr. Huizar.
Congratulations, Avis, and the work that you have done and your team cannot be underestimated. It is incredible work that sometimes goes unnoticed, and as my colleagues have mentioned, we don't realize how much in either dollars or emotion or any other way that has saved the city. So thank you so much. And Herb, I haven't been married 30 years. I've only been married about 11 years. But I, too, learn quickly. When my wife text pages me and tells me to do something, I'll do it. She told me to congratulate you, Avis. Congratulations, Avis. She misses you, and she enjoyed working with you. She said not only as a colleague, but as a person and the sincere heart that you have. Congratulations.
Mr. Labonge and Mr. Wesson's seat.
Avis, congratulations. I'm in your seat because Mr. Garcetti's in mine because I wanted to recognize Mr. Wesson for doing something right today. Bringing you in here.
You don't have to take away his seat, Mr. LeBon.
And what's so special is this city gives opportunity for people like you who are dedicated to create something that has a long-lasting program effect, which is so special. And I've known your husband when he was Mark Thomas. And Mark, you're the first man that I know that did what you do, and so many have followed, sharing your wife's name too, which is very special. Give this couple a big hand right now. And then, because Mark and I like to brag about this, Avis, Mark and I were on Mayor Bradley's youth council when we were both youth, and now a time has come. But your sons are so special, and not just at this moment, but every time I see them, what a great flight that you have of your family. So for this, you deserve great credit for what you've contributed to Los Angeles and the city attorney's office, and all things good. I stand to admire your work and set it as an example for others to follow. Congratulations. Thank you very much.
Mr. Rosendahl.
We're going to miss you, and that comes from the heart. I first knew you when I was doing my television show, and all the problems that we would try to bring out, you were always there to be able to give us insight in situations. Then I get into this job, and Augustine Contreras, a young man of 17 years old, was killed in the parking lot at Venice High School. We were in a crisis. We had more police and more issues and more anger and more retribution attitudes than I've ever experienced myself. We had a community meeting in Oakwood that was pretty difficult to sit in the room. And you came in, and your folks came in and calmed everybody down. There was no retaliation after that, and there was the beginnings of communicating and creating the kinds of connections that only mediation and the ability to talk things through can do. And you did that. You put that together. And by leaving us a legacy of a team in place, it will continue to happen. And that's due to what you have done. You have saved lives. Secondly, you're married to that guy. And what a trip he is, huh? And I think you spend some time mediating some of Mark Ridley-Thomas's issues as well. So we know you'll continue to do that ongoing for us. And we appreciate that in the city now that he's in the county. And sometimes there's conflicts between the city and the county. So I think you might, on the dinner table, just say, hey, hubby, how about this or that? So we're looking forward to that, too. But God bless you for everything you've done for all of us. Thank you.
Mr. Alarcon.
Avis, the city of LA is not done with you. You may be retired from the city of Los Angeles, but I think there's a lot more in store that you can offer this city. It's been such a pleasure, of course, working with Mark Ridley-Thomas as a councilman, but more importantly, the tone that you've set in providing options to the community that actually are a better way to solve problems, better than lawsuits, better than violence, better than all the other options. In fact, as we speak, I had two friends that I worked with. Actually, it was a whole bunch of friends, but two different sides of friends that worked on a community event. And they've been fighting for a year, or arguing, discussing, trying to resolve an issue. And they both came to me, and I said, well, time to call the city attorney's office of mediation because I don't want to get in the middle of this one. And they're resolving it as we speak. And so we have seen firsthand what you can do. I do want to say that more than anything else, I appreciate the love that you and Mark share. It's really beautiful. I've had the opportunity to watch the two of you in action. You are kindred spirits in two different career realms, but you absolutely are walking on the same path. I know you love Mark. You love him so much you created two more like him. And the only thing I can say to Sinclair is you're lucky it wasn't Upton. because I suspect it might have been. But this is a beautiful family. This is a family that has impacted Los Angeles as no other family I can think of in recent times. I know that we can anticipate tremendous accomplishments from the two young men that you have raised because they have had the fortune of having two great parents. That is not a challenge to you, young men. If you do half of what your parents have done, and being two of you, that'll make one. It would be a substantial accomplishment. But Avis, thank you so much for the years of service. More importantly, thank you for bringing compassion, for bringing passion, emotion, and things that really should be the driving force between the relationships between people instead of the anger, cynicism that we see in today's society. Thank you so much. But like I said, we're not finished with you. I'm anxious to see what your next adventures will be. God bless you.
Ms. Hahn?
Thank you. I just want to also rise today and congratulate you, Avis, and really thank you for the years and years of really tough work. Probably one of the toughest jobs in the city is heading up the mediation. And I think every one of us on the council can attest to the fact that some of our most difficult constituent complaints come from what seems to be a very minor issue, but has escalated into an issue that clearly disrupts those people's lives. That's all they think about. That's all they focus on. They, call your office all the time. They write letters to the editor. It's an issue that really keeps them from moving on in their lives. And I think once your team comes in and works on the problem, it really, most of the time, has a great resolution. And so I really want to thank you for that. I know my brother was proud of you in his office. He considered you a star. And your sons, Ms. Perry, you and I were at church one Sunday morning, and Pastor Epps turned over the pulpit. Which one was it? Sebastian Sinclair? Sebastian. A great sermon. You really are going to be a fine preacher. You are a fine preacher, and I certainly enjoyed sitting there and listening to you that morning. So congratulations, Mark and Avis and your sons. You are really a testament to really, I think, how we want our city to behave as decent people respecting one another. So congratulations.
And Avis, I just want to offer my congratulations to you and your family. And Mark, I worked together with you when I was a young council member, and you moved over to the county. But to your boys who were little guys when they first used to come into council chambers, God bless you all. Great retirement to you. Mr. Wesson, to close.
The close is the sons may look like Mark on the outside, but they're just like Avis on the inside.
Congratulations. Thank you very much. Mr. Garcetti.